eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude. eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. eSIMstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at eSIMstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios.
Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the OnePlus Pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. will have you crying tears. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat like Snapdragon X Elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but mistakes will have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15. I got that phone to nothing.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 165. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We have some very interesting news that I could not wait to get into today. I have a little bit different setup here. I know you probably can't tell from behind the screen or from behind the camera. But I'm trying some things out, right? So this seems like this last week, StreamYard's been messing up, right? Won't load my videos, crashing in the middle of my stream, just totally screwing up my whole podcast. And yesterday I went live on another something similar to StreamYard. StreamYard is probably the most commonly used streaming platform. It's the easiest, right? It's the easiest to learn. Some of the other ones I've tried out OBS. I've tried what the hell is it called? One Stream Live. I've tried actually Logitech, who I have the webcam, the very nice webcam now. Logitech has their own XSplit VCam and their XSplit broadcaster. I might try that. There's a learning curve though. I have everything exactly where I want it: music, videos, media, and I can also share screen really easy. So anyways, if stuff looks a little off, or if it looks like I'm fumbling through something, it's probably because I'm using a different streaming platform. I'm just trying stuff out. It sucks because it's literally right before the football season starts that everything decided to crash. So that does suck, because I'm gonna actually, speaking of that, I'm gonna try to keep these podcasts. I've tried to cap them at about an hour, right? But I'm gonna try to cap it even shorter. I'm gonna try to make these even shorter, maybe 30, maybe 45 minutes at max. I'm gonna record as soon as I get done with this. I'm gonna record my NFL stuff, right? So, I guess if you want to, whoever's watching can follow me over to Chiefs Studios. I know I promoted some on some of these intros. I got some videos here that I run intros on. If you're interested, if you like the Chiefs, if you like the NFL, you're more than welcome to join me over there and talk some football. So decided to cover the two main things I enjoy in my life outside of family is technology and football. And so I decided to create YouTube channels. Now, this YouTube channel is really taking off. Our Chiefs YouTube channel, I think just hit 20,000, and I'm starting I probably shouldn't, but I'm starting a NFL channel, just NFL, right? So we'll promote those, and I'll put links for everything down below in these videos. But let's get into some of the interesting news so I don't waste any time. One stream is interesting. They lack a few major what was it yesterday? They lack a few features that I use all the time in StreamYard. Now, one is screen share. As y'all know, as we go through the news, we'll go to my website and we'll read the headlines and or discuss the stories that I personally put on our website. One stream, thank God I didn't sign up for their paid version. Yeah, it was on the trial version. For some reason, their screen share, not good. So it's very there's like literally there's a handful of things, maybe 3-4 things that you would think would be imperative when people live stream. Screen share you would think would be one of them, right? Now maybe I searched through it long and far, all the settings, everything. I was like, well, maybe I got to pay for the paid version for the screen share to work, but I still couldn't find it. Now, there were some other ones that said you can stream in 1080p, but you got to pay. You can upload your own music, but you got to pay. I didn't see anything for share the screen, got to pay. So I don't know I'm in contact with them behind the scenes with their support to see if they do or not. StreamYard, I really like them. It's very easy. But they're having issues. Now, I think it might be because so many people's using them, right? It might maybe that open AI thing where they struggle to basically keep up with the users as far as there's just so many people using it. So I might try the Logitech streaming platform. I know OBS, and what's the other? OBS is pretty difficult. And then there's steep learning curve. And then there's another popular one that everybody uses. What the hell is it called? Let's see here. I got it. Why am I having a brain fart on this one? It's like one of the most popular ones. Let's see. OBS. I don't. It doesn't matter. But EV Mux. Weird name. I don't know. It's still a work in progress, but I got in contact with StreamYard and they said, "Hey, change some of these settings on your computer because it's not the computer. It's freaking StreamYard. When I have certain apps open, that's when it gets testy. That's when it gets, and y'all know I have plenty of RAM. I have 32 gigs of RAM, should be plenty enough. But it's just real testy with certain apps. But anyways, we'll get through it. It's no big deal. But so yesterday we discussed. Let me get some light music going on here. Yesterday we discussed how Samsung is copying Apple. Right? Pretty disappointing to say the least. Right? I don't want to see Samsung copying Apple. I want to see them doing their own thing. It's pretty clear they're copying Apple now, and I'm actually come to that conclusion because over time you'd see little hints, right? Like with these new buds that they come out with, look pretty close to Apple EarPods, right? It's a little different but similar. You see little subtle things now with basically iOS with One UI 7. A lot of it looks damn near a carbon copy of iOS. Disappointing. Now, we got some news today that Apple's been copying somebody. Now, interesting stuff. So let's go to eSIMstudios.app. eSIMstudios.app. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Very interesting. And the person they're copying has been pretty quiet. So, we got word today that Apple And why won't this open? See what I mean? You gotta stuff not really going as planned. Let's refresh this and see what's going on. Wow, nothing is working. Oh boy. All right, let's try this again. Let's try this again. I apologize. Promise I'll have it working for y'all one day. Let's open up eSIM Studios.app. Let's share this screen and see what happens. Okay. Oh boy, this is going to be pretty difficult. Anyways, you know what? Let's do this. Let me copy this link here. Okay, I think I got it. So we got word Apple has been copying Google. Now, not necessarily in the same terms of how Samsung is copying Apple as far as operating system, right? How stuff looks, the software, even hardware, right? Again, as we mentioned, the earbuds. But we got a little information today. Apple has been using Google Tensor CPUs to train their own AI models. That's correct. Apple's been using a whole bunch of Tensor CPUs to train their own AI models to try to get them up and running. Now, when we say Google Tensor CPUs, many people don't know, but actually, Google names Tensor their CPU. Now, there is actually a Tensor processing unit, a TPU. So it's not just that Google didn't just pull this Tensor name out of the sky and apply it to their CPU. It's kind of a weird name, but there is a purpose for it. There really is a TPU, a Tensor processing unit. Now, on eSIMstudios.app, I describe why Apple would be doing this, but down below, I also have, well, what is a Tensor chip? What is a TPU? Because that's the first thing you think of. Well, Apple's using a Tensor chip from Google. Well, what the hell is a Tensor chip in the first place? So maybe I should have put that first, but I got all the juicy stuff first. And then describe what a Tensor chip is secondly. So now Google is a world-class leader in TPU manufacturing. Now, they're building this TPU upon the Exynos-based processor, right? Now, when they move to TSMC for next year's Pixel 10, it'll still be called Tensor. It'll just be the next generation of Tensor, but it's basically a CPU built around this TPU. Tensor Processing Unit is a custom-designed, application-packed, specific integrated circuit that Google uses and manipulates to speed up machine learning workloads. TPUs are ideal for accelerating AI training and interface because of their specialized features, such as matrix multiply unit and proprietary interconnect topology. Nerdy words, but you get the idea. So TPUs are designed to quickly preform matrix operations, which are fundamental in neural networks. They use a systolic array to perform large hardwired matrix calculations without needing to access the memory. The core of the TPU can perform up to 250,000 operations per cycle, even though its clock speed is only 700 megahertz. TPUs can be used to run machine learning workloads using frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and JAX. Google Cloud's Cloud TPU service makes TPUs available as scalable computing resources. TPUs are considered to be AI's best friend and are lightning fast for machine learning tasks. However, they are more expensive than other CPUs and GPUs, far more expensive. Though some say their pros outweigh the high price tag. And for Apple's case, its pros far outweigh the price tag. So it's not like so we described what a Tensor chip is. So because I know some people are probably wondering, well, how are they pulling these? Are they buying a bunch of Pixel devices and then pulling these Tensor CPU, taking the pixels apart and then just pulling the CPUs and the TPUs out of these pixels and then making it work for them? No, not really. So Google actually has their cloud storage service. They actually have a division, and I actually have access to them. I just don't have any use for them through a Google Workspace account. I have a Workspace account. It's a business, a work account. So you can actually use Tensor Cloud services. And apparently what Apple is doing is actually using a combination of the two. They're using majority Google Tensor Cloud services so it's a cloud-based service that can be specialized and calculated for each business that needs its uses. Meaning, if you're just doing machine learning on robot movements, right? Robot movements, they'll specialize their Tensor Cloud services for that. If you're just doing all the above, it's full systems go. I think Apple's doing literally all the above. Now, I say I think because Google has not commented on this, right? Google has not commented on this at all. Now, it's interesting because they're still currently doing this, and it makes you wonder. That's why I said yesterday, I don't think they have a clue what to do with this AI thing. Look, we've gotten 3 huge Apple stories involving AI in the last 3 days. And each one that we get is kind of more head scratching. But again, like I said the other day, where there is smoke, there is fire. I think my claims that Apple doesn't know what the hell to do when it comes to AI is validated with each and every story that comes out, just like this, right? It seems like they're doing a little bit of everything to try to see what catches fire, to see in a good way, to see what kind of catches on, to see what each little section that they have their hands in AI, to see what kind of evolves from it. I don't think they're putting all their chips in this basket. I think they're using it, again, to try to pull from as many resources as possible and then put it in a pool, a brain pool, a think tank, and essentially try to form something on their own down the line. Because, as you know, they're using OpenAI, integrating ChatGPT with their operating system. But remember, OpenAI is about to file for bankruptcy. So what does that mean for Apple? I don't think we know. I don't think they know. But I believe they're keeping all options on the table. Look, Apple is years behind Google, years behind, I hate to say it, OpenAI, but it's true, right? Even though they're going bankrupt, it doesn't mean they have a bad product or bad technology. It just means that they're spending more money than they're bringing in. So Apple is years behind all these other companies. This is what happens when you sit on your hands for so long. Is that you get behind the 8 ball. And now you're seeing all this stuff happening now. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, they're the biggest tech company in the world. However, they're not the biggest company in the world. However, they're not excluded from criticism. And I think they definitely deserve some criticism. I think even, maybe I'm wrong, maybe even the most craziest Apple fanboy you can ever think of. Like somebody that just shits on Android, Windows, anything else, and is all Apple 24/7. Earbuds, phone, MacBook, everything. iPad, iOS. I think they would even admit, not that it's necessarily a shit show or, oh, they have no clue what they're doing. But I think they would admit something a little less along than they know what they're doing. I think they would probably come up with some sort of excuse to as of why it's taking so long, or why they're copying Google's Tensor, or using the Tensor chip for their machine learning. That tells us, look, all you got to do is peel back the layers. All you got to do is think about it. I mean, it's common sense to me after you think about it for a while. But you do have to kind of know the backstory, and that's what I try to do every day. I'm not trying to bore you to death with the same story every day, but I like leading up to today's story with this Tensor chip thing. I do try to give a little backstory just to, maybe there's a viewer that hasn't watched the last day or two and has no clue what I'm talking about. But this is why. And again, in 2023, there's not one other company in the world that bought more tech startup companies than Apple. In the year 2023, last year, Apple bought more tech startup companies than any other company in the world, meaning they bought a bunch of, I think it was 37, 38, totaling billions of dollars. They purchased a bunch of AI companies all around the world. They're using Tensor. They're using OpenAI. Now, I know the beta was released. iOS 18 was at 18.1 was released with some AI. Now, that's only available to the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, and I think the Mac, the iPad, or all the M chip MacBooks and or iPads, I believe, are able to run this, but it's only open to developers. So even you I have a developer's account, Apple developer's account, so I could technically jump on and check it out if I wanted to. But the average person, it's not like Pixel where you just enroll in the beta program and away you go. This one, you actually have to fill out an application. You actually have to pay to get into to get an account. So it's only available to developers. So it's not even open to the general public yet. But it has been pushed back. It has been delayed, despite what you see the headlines. That's what they're not telling you in the headlines. Yeah, it's released, but it's only to developers, and that's just so they can get used to writing apps. So whenever the Apple does have this AI thing under control and ready to push out, the developers will, have some know-it-all to have some apps ready and ready to roll, right? Most Apple fanboys and girls do not understand the technical side of things or even care. If it has the Apple logo, they all go for it. Yes. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And I've been wanting to do I've been wanting to make a video, like a long form video, in regards to that. It's specifically Apple fanboys. I might just stand out in front of the Apple store, honestly, and start recording people. And I'm not gonna be a jackass, but it's actually fascinating because look, I consider myself a quote unquote Android fanboy, but I'm not like a diehard. I love Pixel. I'm hashtag Team Pixel. I'm a member of their super fans group. But I mean, I use other phones, right? Like I love Samsung, but I have one, I'm using other phones. I love nothing, but I'm using other. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not just gonna buy every single thing that comes out, like an Apple fanboy, right? Like those Samsung earbuds, right? I'm not buying them. Hell no. I know they're not gonna work. They're too expensive, right? So yeah, it's like they are brainwashed. They are literally brainwashed, and they don't even realize it. Now they come up with all sorts of excuses why their phones are so much better. I've kind of cooled it down a little bit on blasting them. Like I think I had the channel for almost 2 years or 1.5 years. I think as of like 6 months ago, the first year, about a year and some change, I would blast Apple at every chance I get. I had somebody comment under my video, had it been a fanboy and or an employee. Man, he wrote this super long. It was so long. Just this story about how they're the best company because they see operating systems the way it should be, and that's why they don't allow you to sideload apps, and that's why you can't root them, and that's why it's closed source, and it's meant to be simplistic yet robust, and blah 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 blah. And I was reading it, and halfway through, I was like, this guy is insane. I mean, I love Samsung. I love Apple. Jesus Christ. I love Samsung. I like nothing, as I mentioned, OnePlus, but I'm not. If they do something wrong, I'm going to let y'all know. I'm going to criticize them, right? Like, I try to be as fair as possible and not just blinded and just totally goo goo gaga over one company, right? Because honestly, they really don't care about you, and I hate to say that, but like, I don't know. These companies are well, let me reserve that. Let me take that comment back. They do care about you, but in different ways. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, I was like, God dang, this guy is literally brainwashed. I was like, he's got to be an employee. I was like, there's no way a person would just lay down for a company in front of a freaking would take the bullet. Like, this got to be an employee. There's no way this person's saying this, and they're shelling out thousands and thousands of dollars for every little Apple nickel and dimes their customers. It's insane. I'm gonna do that. I think that's a good video. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do that video next week, but I'm gonna get some better wireless mics. I'm gonna get I gotta have a tripod, but I need to get some better wireless mics. I think I'm gonna go stand out in front of the Apple store and interview people. I think that would be a really, really cool video. And kind of play. I'm not gonna talk bad about them or Apple. I just want to pick their brain and have you ever used an Android phone before? I'll come up with maybe before I go. Maybe I'll ask y'all to help me with questions, right? That I can ask people and stuff like that, and see what kind of responses we'll get, and then should be a pretty good video. I'll do that, but maybe we'll plan for that next month or something. Give me a second, I gotta blow my nose. So, yeah, they are something else, man. They Apple fanboys are something else. Apple can do no wrong in their eyes. But look, I'm fair game here. I'm not, I'm not excluded from criticism myself, right? I make mistakes. I'm human, but so are these companies, right? Nobody's perfect. People mess up. Companies mess up, and as long as the intention is not malicious, I don't really see a big deal about it. It's just something that bothers me when somebody just backs a person and or a company and or an entity, and they just totally disregard the obvious signs right in their face, right? So, very interesting. But so basically, I have written down here to wrap this up. Hang on one second. You know what I thought of? The new iPhones come out in September. Maybe I should go stand out the first day that they're for sale. I think that would be a good time. The first day that they are for sale. I think it's like September. It hadn't been announced yet, but I think somewhere around September 16th. I think this year. I think the first day that they're for sale, I'll go to the Apple Store and stand out. They're probably. I'm gonna wear my OnePlus shirt, or wear a Pixel shirt, or something. Now I'll probably wear my eSIM Studio shirt. But I think that would be a great time to go stand out in front and just pick people's brains about why they're getting into their iPhone. Like, well, it looks just like your iPhone 12. Why are you gonna upgrade? Stuff like that. So. Anyways, if you want a little more in-depth information on the Apple usage of Google's Tensor chips, again, Google has not commented, and I don't think they are. And you know what? Regardless, here's what we don't know. Is Apple doing this without Google knowing? Like, is Apple trying to be like sneaky about this on the hush-hush, on the low? Don't tell anybody. We're going to make you sign an NDA. Do not tell anybody. Or did they actually strike a deal with Google behind the scenes, and Google's just not saying a word on it? I'm sure the negotiations had a hush hush, no PR comments in the writing of that deal, but we don't know, and I don't think we will, honestly, unless somebody that's from the inside, whether it's a high-ranking Apple and or Google employee says something. I don't think we're going to know. Apple's not going to say anything. Google's not going to say anything. It is a little embarrassing. It is for Apple. However you see it, it is somewhat embarrassing for Apple. They're supposed to be, as much as they hate Google, as much as they are a competitor of Google, they lean on Google for software. It's a fact. And search. Also, they lean on Samsung for memory, for displays. So Apple's not just this high and mighty here. If everybody cut Apple off, the suppliers, meaning their competitors that are suppliers as well, they'd be in trouble. Now, I think they would survive, but that means they would have to make their own displays now. They would have to make their own memory chips. And I think they are starting to manufacture. I've heard that in a few years they should. I think they are building their own memory manufacturing plant where they're going to manufacture their own memory. But that's in a few years, right? And Samsung still supplies their displays. We mentioned that. And then also little companies that supply the parts for the speakers or the motherboard. Well, actually, they're doing their own motherboard, but you get the point, right? And Brian says those stores are going to be packed like the liquor store the day before a holiday when iPhone comes out. Yes, and especially next year. So this year, they're basically the same phones. Now, the size, they do have a size difference this year over the previous years, but they're going to essentially look the same. Next year is when I think people are going to go really crazy with the slim phone. And then the year after that, when they come out with the flip phone, their heads are going to explode. So, you know what I could do? I could make it like an annual thing from here on out. For however long this channel continues to run, whether it's another year, 5 years, 10 years, or until I die, maybe I'll go to the Apple Store every single year and interview people on day one, on launch day. Why don't we do that? Let's do that this year. Let's go to the Apple Store and just see why people are so crazy about this company. All right, moving on. We got word. So get this. Tomorrow, what do you know? Now my StreamYard's working in screen share. Tomorrow, join us, a special event. As you know, whenever there's a big release, we will always live stream either during the launch event or right after, right? So we did with the OnePlus, the Nothing, the Samsung, all this stuff. Well, guess what? Nothing has a launch tomorrow. What do you know? And we have our very first sighting of this phone that's going to be launched. Now, Nothing put this out on their Twitter, on their X page of the Nothing Phone 2A Plus. So basically, what the 2A Plus is. Now, again, little quick backstory. Nothing is not putting out the Phone 3. So the Phone 2 is currently their flagship device, right? This is their flagship device. Still using it today. Still freaking awesome. However, they've been putting out some inexpensive budget phones that are just killing it in sales. Absolutely killing it with these numbers. This is one of their more popular phones. The Nothing Phone 2A. Awesome phone. $349. Awesome freaking phone for $349. Now, since they're not releasing a Phone 3 this year, this phone is 1 year old. They were set to release the Nothing Phone 3. They scratched that because they're still working on implementing AI into that software. So they're going to release it next year in 2025. Sucks, but it is what it is. So I think they're releasing a newer version of this to kind of satisfy people that were looking forward to a new Nothing Phone this July. But they didn't really have another flagship device per se to take the place of the Phone 3. And this is not taking the place of the Phone 3. Don't get it twisted. There is a price difference between these. However, I think this Nothing Phone 2A, this is the 2A, and they're going to be releasing the 2A Plus tomorrow. The Plus version is essentially is a phone that if you merged the Nothing Phone 2A and you merged the Nothing Phone 2 and fused this together, you would get the Nothing Phone 2A Plus. Now, why do I say that? Well, because there's some subtle changes that I see. Now, we already know all the specs, right? It's going to have a new MediaTek Dimensity 7350 Pro CPU, a stronger CPU than what's currently in here, the 7200 Pro Dimensity. It's going to have 12 gigs of RAM. It's going to have 8 gigs of virtual RAM. So you can have up to 20 gigs of RAM. It's going to have, I think, up to 256 gigs of storage, which it should. So it has the same 50 megapixel twin camera setup on the back. It's going to have a new 50 megapixel sensor on the front selfie. But look at the design. So this is what makes this Nothing Phone 2 a more pricey device, a more premium device, a more flagship device. Is the look, is the feel, is the construction. Glass front and back, metal around the borders, right? Silver. The Nothing Phone 2A, plastic. All the way around. Plastic, plastic, plastic. I love it because I don't think if I drop it weighs, it feels like I'm holding a piece of paper. It's so lightweight. It's not big, heavy, and bulky like this one is, where if you drop it, this glass is going to shatter. I love having a plastic phone. I've never thought I would enjoy it this much, but I absolutely do. Now, this picture that we're looking at looks like it might have a... Can I zoom in on here? Let me see. Yes. Okay, so this phone looks like it has so the Nothing Phone 2A has a unibody construction. So what do I mean by unibody? It means it has two parts pushed together. The screen and then this back part with the sides. That's the sides and the back is one and the screen is other. So that's two. They call it a unibody, even though it's 2 pieces. But this new Nothing Phone 2A Plus looks like there's 3 parts. And what I mean is, with this Nothing Phone 2, the premium phone, it's glass on the front, glass on the back, and a metal frame that you push together. So 3 individual parts forged together makes the phone. It gives it a more premium feel. That's, I think, what we're looking at here. Now, I don't know if the back is going to be glass or plastic. I believe it's going to be plastic. Now, remember, they're trying to keep the cost down. So this is an upgraded version. It does not have LEDs on all the way down the back. It still has LEDs across the top strip. Now, the Nothing Phone 2, which is the premium device, has LEDs. Check this out. All across the back. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, this phone's dead. Great. This phone, the Nothing Phone 2, has LEDs all across the back. See that? This new Nothing Phone 2A Plus only has LEDs across the top. It's going to keep the LEDs only on the top portion. Now, the bottom part, pretty freaking similar. That looks like a gray version. I hope they come out with another white version. This isn't my favorite phone to use. I have tons of phones here. I have phones that are $200, like the CMF phone. I have phones that are $1,300, like the S24 Ultra. This is my favorite phone to use. It's fun, it's lightweight, don't have to worry about it. It's quick, it's fast, it handles everything I need to do. And it was only $349. Now, I think the price, we don't know. I think this is going to be, it is an upgraded version. I think they're going to keep it under 400. So I think they're going to try to keep it at, roughly $399, something like that. Under 4, it's like $1 under 400, but you get it. Something like that. So look at this. Anyways, when I find out, let's see if we can find out right now. I'll schedule the live stream. I got to jump over on my NFL channel here. So let's see here. Let's get out of here. But let me find out when the Nothing. Did they probably announced it on their Twitter account. Okay, July 31st at 2:30. Is that PM, AM, Central Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time? Row 1, how's it going? Yeah, you're right. Yes, HTC, man, what happened to HTC? You know, they put out a phone recently. I hadn't heard anything about it at all. So let's see. I need the time. When is the time? 2:30. Online at nothing.tech. Let's go to nothing.tech and see if they have it scheduled. And then I will let y'all know when to join me tomorrow. Okay. Oh, damn it. It's tomorrow morning. Well, I guess better sooner than it's gonna be 4 a.m. at 0500 Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be 4 a.m. my time, so I might as well stay up for it tonight. So I doubt I'm gonna live stream at 4 a.m. I'm probably just gonna watch it. Everybody's, daughter's gonna be sleeping here or in the house. Cat's gonna be asleep. I don't really be making noise, but I'll probably schedule a live stream for like noon tomorrow, Central Standard Time, so we can just discuss this. The earlier I do the podcast, the better, honestly. So why don't we do that? I'll schedule the. Man, they make really. See, I would think an Apple. I think if and we'll discuss this later, but sometimes I think if somebody that's used an iPhone their whole life had to use an Android, I used to always say, because I've been asked that a few times, I used to always say, just get a Pixel. Don't even bother with Samsung. Just get a Pixel. Now, I think the best option would be nothing in their devices, right? Now with the Nothing Phone 3 that's about to come out, it's obviously going to be way more powerful and on the lines of a Pro model for Apple. But okay, well, let's do this. I'm going to watch this in the early morning, and we'll live stream maybe around 12 Central Standard Time. I'll go ahead and set the live stream here shortly and get it out there so everybody can pay attention. Yeah, they're based in London, but they've been doing a lot of their launches in India because that's their biggest market. They sell more phones in India than any other country in the world. So it makes sense that they kind of cater to the Indian market. Is it PM? I hope it is. Anyways, we'll figure it out. I will do some more research here. I got to jump on my NFL channel, so appreciate the time. Thank you very much for joining us. Catch us tomorrow. We'll have a live exclusive show. I'm going to be getting one of these, so we'll definitely check it out, see what the official specs are, and see what that final price is. Should be pretty low. Very excited. So take care. Catch us tomorrow, and have a great afternoon. I'm going to go live or am I going to go live or record? Anyways, Chiefs Studios is the NFL channel that we're going to record on. So should be linked in there in the description box below. So if you want to head over there, you got a few minutes, that's cool. If not, we will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.